Hey YouTube, this is Wrestling Spark Fan 62. So, Six Flags has had a very interesting past few weeks. Today, their quarterly earnings report come out, and they were out like they didn't have over 1 million guests come in that quarter. They are partially blaming weather, among other things. If that's true or not, I'm not entirely sure. But at the same time, you've started hearing a lot of these cuts at a lot of their parks. So I thought I want to do a video about this as well as some of the other stuff. So before I go into the parks I think that could close, I want to talk about something that is very interesting, and that's the Peanuts. So if you've not have watched videos like theme parks with Brandon, as well as some others, and Tower Topics, it has been seen that a lot of the Peanut stuff has gone on sale for about 40 to 50% off. And right now there's a lot of things saying that the Peanuts are going to go out, and then Looney Tunes and all that is going to come in. What do I think about that? My guess is one of two things. Either A, Six Flags tried to get it, maybe try to see if they could reduce it, so that way they could put it into a lot of the legacy Six Flags parks and they wouldn't go down. Or they saw that it essentially wasn't worth it. The Looney Tunes and stuff, their contract still goes out for another 20-something years, or close to 20 years. So that is good on their part. Now, am I going to say Action Zone is going to get rebranded as DC Land, and then the kids area is going to be Looney Tunes and stuff like that? Yes and no. I do think we will start seeing a lot more Looney Tunes based stuff coming in. Supposedly there has been Looney Tunes merch that has come in and maybe is supposed to come out. I don't know. So it's one of those things where there can be a lot of changes. And with the Peanuts essentially getting kicked out in less than 4 months, I do see a lot of changes in the kids' areas going forward. So, for example, with parks that have Camp Snoopy as well as Planet Snoopy, I could see them do one of two things. I can see them do Looney Tune, or like Camp Looney Tunes, or Looney Tunes Land, or something in that ballpark. The other thing I can see them do is like a DC theme, or something in that ballpark. We will have to see. Supposedly also in there is the Hanna-Barbera characters like Scooby-Doo and all of that. Could they be making a comeback? Possibly. We will have to see. Now, let's start with the parks that could possibly close. And I want to talk about each one. First is Laurent. Now, the thing about Laurent is Six Flags doesn't really invest into it. While it has the Six Flags naming, the Six Flags branding and all of that. You hardly ever hear about something that says Six Flags is sending this. Now, the last thing that you heard about was the former Green Lantern spin coaster at Magic Mountain that was supposed to go to LeBron, but that got canceled due to the pandemic, as well as probably some other things. So could that be on the chopping block? It is possible, because it's never really invested. Well, it does make money. The problem is it's in an area that it's right on the water. I could see them trying to get out of that contract, because it is a sort of like a third party type thing. The next one is New England. Now, you're going to ask yourself this question: why New England? They're getting a new launched family coaster for next year. From what a friend of mine has told me, financially, it doesn't really do that well. It does around the break-even point for the year. I don't know if that's true, but you can't keep something that is not going to make money. Or it's possible they could do stuff like raise prices and stuff like that. The next, I'm going to put two of them together, and that one's Darien Lake and Frontier City. Now, if you don't know, both of these parks are essentially ran by Six Flags, but they're not owned by Six Flags. So Six Flags does, the day-to-day operations and such like that, but they don't officially own the park. I could see them getting out of this contract because they have before, and because both of these parks don't really get heavily invested in, and I don't know financially how they do every year, but it could be one of those things where, you could see something where it's like Six Flags has moved out of Darien Lake or something like that. The next one is Dorney Park. Now, this one's a tough one because it is in Pennsylvania. So its competition mostly is Hershey Park as well as Six Flags Great Adventure. Now, they did get a new dive coaster last year, which helps them. But financially, we just don't know how they are. Michigan's Adventure. Okay. This is one I could probably see going on the chopping block because, yes, it makes money. The problem is they don't really invest in the park. Now they may get something like a new trash can or a new bench, maybe a new restaurant or something like that. Like just recently it was announced that Tricks and Treats got cut. So in almost 3 weeks, their season is done. Labor Day, their season is done for the year. I'm sure that was a shock to all of them. So the next one is Valley Fair. Now with Valley Fair, the thing is that is partially one of the original parts to Six Flags or Cedar Fair, but it is in Minnesota. It does get a lot of cold winters up there, and you have to wonder how that does on the rides. Similar to Michigan's Adventure. The next two I'm going to put together because they're only a few hours apart, and that is St. Louis and Worlds of Fun. Okay, starting with St. Louis. I will say this. One of the good things about them is they have gotten control of, the gang situation and such from what I hear. But financially, I don't know how they are. They really haven't gotten a new coaster in a while. But I will say this. The thing that helps them is Six Flags has invested some money into them over the past 3 years. They have gotten a ride similar to like Alter Ego at your local fair or state fair or carnival or something like that. Theirs is themed to Catwoman, just like at the Great Escape. Then they just got a new family coaster 2 years ago. And then last year was the Joker pendulum attraction. So that has helped them some. While it's not a major coaster per se, it has helped them that they are investing into something like that, even if it is to help offset. Now with Worlds of Fun, the thing is, the only thing they've really gotten over the past several years has been Zambezi Zinger. While that's a decent attraction from what I hear, I don't know if that's been enough to really pull in the crowds. I hear their other coasters are actually decent, but we have to see. And then the last one I think is Discovery Kingdom. Now, the thing with Discovery Kingdom is this. It is in Northern California, in the Bay Area. But with that being said, is it enough to keep them stable? They just got their impulse coaster working again, which is good, but I don't know how they're going to be financially. Also, the fact you deal with animals doesn't really help either. I can see that becoming something they invest in, but I don't really know. Okay, the other things I want to talk about is Haunt. So Six Flags has released all of their Haunt type stuff for Kings Island. New for this year is you have to pay to go through the mazes. It's $10 for the Haunt Pass. I think that's... And then if you want to get the pass and the ticket, it's $55. $55 isn't bad, I will say, but it does not include parking, which is an extra $25 or $30. Okay. Also, they have a new experience coming this year, based on one of the popular horror movies that is about to come out in September, with the nun and stuff like that. I can't think of the name of it, and that is an extra cost. I believe that's $15. I believe it is included with the other Haunt stuff. I will find out. Okay, now for the houses and scare zones. New for this year is called Order of the Dragon. So from the description, this sounds like it's going to be based off like a long time ago. It sounds like there's something about vampires in it. So it does seem like a very cool house. I'm not entirely sure where they're going to put it. So we have to see. The next one are the ones that have been there for a while, which is Alien Abyss, Cornered, Hotel St. Michel, Killmart, and Slaughterhouse. I really wish they would spice some of these up a little bit. Maybe get a new house, because some of these are old. Killmart is a fan favorite. I recognize that, but it's been there for ages. I don't know how it is on the inside as far as, needing new things. Slaughterhouse has been there a long time as well. It's also a fan favorite. Hotel St. Michel is popular. And Cornered, it's there. Scare zones. You have Abandoned, which is the trees and stuff took over a sawmill, which is in Coney Mall, which is near Diamondback and all of that. Coney Mall, the clown one. Hooked, which is the pirate one they did last year. International Street Fear, and Pumpkin Eaters. Pumpkin Eaters is, I will say, a very cool concept. And I am glad Six Flags has adapted to some of the Cedar Fair things like that. But I am going to do a video at some point about, at least in the amusement industry, what themes are overused.